This is the Barbecue Central Radio Show, which is recorded live each Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Barbecue Central Radio Show is being brought to you by The Barbecue Guru, the original creators of automatic temperature control devices, now offering 4 different models for you to choose from. Rest easy knowing that The Barbecue Guru is controlling your pit temperature so you can get on with your life. Visit bbqguru.com or call 800-288-GURU for more information. And by Fred's Music and Tasty Licks BBQ Supply, your online barbecue and grilling superstore. From cookers to grills, wood chips and chunks, and everything in between. Also be sure to try the Tasty Licks barbecue brand of rubs and sauces. Check Fred out online at tastylicksbbq.com. And by Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. Located in beautiful Willoughby, Ohio, Stephen DeFranco Jewelers is a family-owned and operated business looking to service the great folks of the barbecue and grilling world. Get free shipping and big discounts by mentioning my name and the term Barbecue Brother. Check out their inventory by visiting StephenDeFranco.com. And by Butcher Barbecue, with 30 years of experience in retail, wholesale, meat markets, food service, and customer service. Using that experience, everything they do and sell at Butcher's Barbecue comes from real-world knowledge. Check out their award-winning spices, sauces, marinades, and injections by visiting ButcherBBQ.com. Always trust your butcher. And by Green Mountain Grills. Discover something you'll really love. Grilling with pellets. Green Mountain pellet grills are the top of the line, best of the best, but not the highest in price. And be sure to check out all of their flavor rubs, sauces, and pellets for the Green Mountain Grill, all on their website. Visit greenmountaingrills.com to peruse the entire products portfolio. And by Barbecuers Delight Wood Pellets. 2/3 oak, 1/3 flavor wood, giving you that perfect combination of BTU burn and sweet, succulent smoke you're looking to get all over your meat. A wide variety of flavors, so please go to the website to check it out and get yours today. Barbecuers Delight, which is bbqrsdelight.com. And by JP Custom Smoke, a competitive barbecue team out of Wichita, Kansas, manufacturing the highest quality barbecue rubs on the market today. Looking to increase your competition scores? Looking to get the hearty high fives and hand clasps at the neighborhood barbecues? Look no further than JP Custom Smoke. In the market for a high-quality offset wood-burning barbecue pit, JP Custom Smoke has years of experience building high-quality, fully customizable, and extremely fuel-efficient barbecue pits. Visit jpcustomsmoke.com for more information.
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike your match, and... Oh, should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central Show. It's the show that talks about all things important in the world of barbecue and grilling, broadcasting live and direct from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. Just last week, proclaimed as the barbecue capital of North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday. 2 bits of information in case you want to jump in on the show tonight. More than happy to have you one or both ways. It's a toll-free call, 877-448-0433. You can also email the show if you want to. Greg at the BBQ Central Show. Those are your 2 ways to get in touch with me should you see fit. Everything else about the show can be found at the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's going on tonight in case you didn't get that newsletter. By the way, there are still a few hundred spots open left for that, so you can run on over to the Barbecue Central homepage and sign up for the newsletter right around 4 o'clock or so each Tuesday. You get an advance notice of who's coming on the show. You can also follow me on Facebook. You can hook me up on Twitter at BBQ Central Show. Typically, I'm tweeting or Facebooking who I'm getting on the show at some point during the week after the live show airs every Tuesday. So check me out on those social medias if you do it. 14 past the hour, so in about 13 minutes from now, Tim Grant from True Bud Barbecue will be joining us. Really having one of the best years ever, winning a lot, taking Reserve Grand Championship a lot, qualifying for the Jack Daniels a lot. Hey, there you go. So we're going to kind of talk to him about the first 6 months of the season. We'll talk a little bit about the Jack, what seems to be working for him, maybe what's working in general on the competition scene. Tim, always good for a lot of great information and bringing the talk strong, as we like to say around this house. 35 past 9, Scotty Johnson, Cancer Sucks Chicago, will be joining me. His appearance spawned mostly on a Facebook post, but always fun to talk with Scotty. And, of course, we'll be heavily promoting CancerSucksChicago.com, the official, non-official cancer charity of this program. So check that out. And, at any point during the show, if you want to make a donation, feel free. There is a PayPal availability to do that, and both Scotty and I would appreciate that. Then we'll move on to the second hour, 10:14. Big Mo Cason will be joining us, pitmaster of Ponderosa Barbecue. He's been on television a lot. He has been cooking very well as of late. And, of course, if you saw him on Smoked, got to ask him about cooking the brisket first, getting a little, let's say, sear, although it's not super high heat. But doing a little pre-cook first before actually injecting it. The mindset behind that and how that seems to be working for him. And then, if it could at all possibly happen, social media requests were sent. Michael Symon, Iron Chef? Maybe? You never know. Didn't hear back from him directly. He could be plotting his call as we speak. So we left 1035 open and launched an open invitation out to the Iron Chef himself, who is a Cleveland guy. So, if anybody is just going to drop one out of the blue, it's a Cleveland guy helping out a Cleveland-based barbecue and grilling show. And, we could talk to him for hours on end about all sorts of stuff. Great character, great personality, successful businessman, all that good stuff. So there you go. Tim Grant, Scotty Johnson, Mo Cason, maybe Michael Symon. Your lineup for this evening, 877-448-0433. You can also email Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Hey, while you're at it, if you're a computer, you got your smartphone with you, why don't you go ahead and email everybody you know, maybe make a Facebook post or tweet it out that you're watching the show. It's live right now. You can catch the video at OutdoorCookingChannel.com. You can also stream this audio live a number of different ways. Our good friend Dave Bosca from Butcher Barbecue streaming on TuneIn Radio as we speak. He's trolling down the road, looking for deals on wheels, and he's listening to the show just like it was radio in his car. It doesn't get any better than that. So thank you for taking the time to listen live, Dave, tonight, as you are not in your regular confines taking in the show. OutdoorCookingChannel.com, thebbqcentralshow.com is a way to stream the show audio only as well. The best app to get it on your smart device or tablet or whatever, TuneIn Radio, TuneIn, TuneIn Radio. And that is a free app. You can pay 99 cents for the pay version, and the ads get replaced, and you can do some other stuff like record. But I don't think you really need that. Get the free one, enjoy the show if you can't be consuming it the way you would normally. And, of course, you can also watch the show live on Roku. You go to the Roku store, you download the Outdoor Cooking Channel app, and choose the live stream, which is the option just to the left of me as you get into the Outdoor Cooking Channel portion of that application on Roku. And you can watch the show live right on your flat screen, enjoying fine libations just like this one. However you want to do it, you consume it the way you want it. Of course, you can always go back and listen to every bit of this show if you miss it at any form or fashion through the podcast archives, which can be found on my website or iTunes or what have you. So, end of the show last week. I don't know how many people stuck around. But end of the show last week, I got loose on a fellow named Ira Pupko, kind of defending myself because of what he posted on his Facebook page about me and my views on liquid smoke. Look, holding last week aside, at that very end of the show, I'm better than that. More frustrating to me is that I broke rule number 2 of the show. We all know there's 2 rules to the show, right? So in review, let's go ahead and review the show rules. Rule number 1, of course. Does anybody know what rule number 1? Anybody in the chat room know what rule number 1 of the show is? No names, please. No names. We're not here to call anybody out. If you have official information and you're a trustworthy source, there's no reason to divulge who your sources are. Or if you don't know, you just say, I don't know, like I told John Marcus the other day when I asked him about his non-involvement with Season 5 of Pitmasters, which turned out terrible. No names, please. I was talking to a higher barbecue, no names, please. But, so that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, could be important as rule number 1, maybe more important. Don't get hooked. Don't get hooked. I broke rule number 2. Look, it happens to the best of us. Public service announcement, gang. If you think that you might be getting hooked, you're getting hooked. I know. Take your own advice, Rempe. I know. Look, live by the show rules. It makes life a lot easier. And for a brief moment, I have to say that as I was conjuring up how I was going to get at this guy, right? I said, don't get hooked. And I went ahead and said,
ain't nobody got time for that.
And I got hooked. Sorry.
Get that free stuff out of here.
A lot of people came to defense saying, hey, this guy's a kook and blah, blah, blah. You know, no matter, kook or not, bad guy, good guy. If you feel like you're getting hooked, you're getting hooked. Don't get hooked. Rule number 2 of the show. Rule number 1, no names, please. All right. So good news for me. I just got this email like 2 hours ago. And it says as such, Dear Greg, I have been trying to reach you. You are the winner of the James Beard Contest Sous Vide Supreme machine. Winner! So the Sous Vide Supreme machine, these guys from that company were unable to reach me via their page because they have a corporate page. So I don't know if they can get right back to people that participated. And I don't even remember like what the exact rules were, but I think you had to go on the Sous Vide Supreme page, you had to like the page, and then maybe you had to share it. I don't even remember sharing it, but you might have had to. And then that's it. You were entered, and you could win a $400 or $500 Sous Vide Supreme machine, and I won. So she said, hopefully this email gets you. Looking forward to hearing back. All the best, Elaine, president at Wink Publications. Thank you, Elaine. Sous Vide Supreme. So you know what I'm going to be doing, right? As soon as I get that bad boy, I'm filling it up with water. I'm buying some really thick steaks, and I'm putting them in sous vide to take to 120 degrees. I'm going to fire up my Bubba Keg with Kebro cardwood charcoal, of course. Of course. And I'm going to get a sear on each side quickly. I'm going to have, as Meathead would say, bumper to bumper, medium rare color from top to bottom. God, I'm so excited about that. I never win anything, and I win that. Quick email from Dave Rogers. Dear Greg, do you know if you can log on and play the show days or weeks after the initial broadcast? Dave, we just covered this in the beginning. Absolutely. You can go to the website, thebbqcentralshow.com. You go to the archives page, full list of archives there. You can also subscribe to the show on iTunes. Just search BBQ Central Show and look for the Barbecue Central Radio Show logo. There are 2 Barbecue Central shows. Both are from me, hosted. But this one obviously has a lot more. You can also go to youtube.com/BARBECUE, the numeral 4 and the letter U, barbecue for you. And you can also go to outdoorcookingchannel.com. If you have Roku, you can find it all there. Just a number of ways to get the show days or weeks after broadcast. A lot of people don't even get the show until weeks later. Somebody listening to this show right now won't listen to this show until 2 weeks from now. Did I say that right? Probably not. All right. I'm just happy that I won something. Man, never win anything, and I win a $500 prize. Oh, yeah, man. All right, gang, let me talk to you quickly before we get to Tim Grant from True Bud about Tasty Licks Barbecue Supply, a trusted online retailer, longtime supporter of the show. I'm always talking with Fred. This week, he told me that, as last week, Tasty Licks is carrying Kamado Joe cookers, Meadow Creek cookers, spices, sauces, accessories, much of these items in stock, ready to ship to you directly. Now, maybe you have been looking for the Oak Ridge brines and rubs. Maybe you've been looking for the complete line of Plowboys rubs and sauces. How about that smoke on wheels stuff? Tasty Licks has them all. And, of course, you know by now that Tasty Licks Barbecue is your Big Green Egg headquarters, including many items for the egg that you can't get anywhere else. And these Big Green Egg parts are in stock. Just consult with one of the egg heads, because they are experts at the egg. Of course, they're carrying the Harry Sue's new line of chicken rub. And if you're looking for injections, Tasty Licks carries all the heavy hitters here as well. Butcher's Barbecue, the Cosmos Q, every type of barbecue guru, and their associated accessory. Tasty Licks is a green mountain grill pellet dealer. And as Fred says right here on the show, Fred does a number of classes for the public as well. He also teaches some that he brings in the big heavy hitters that are on the competition circuit a number of times during the course of the year. So always be at tastylicksbbq.com to get those updates. Sign up for his newsletter. He's always giving you ideas and telling you what's going on. And attention teams. Tasty Licks is your competition headquarters. All supplies for competition teams, pans in different sizes, aluminum trays, gloves, thermometers, turn-in boxes for practice. Make it your one-stop shop. TastyLicksBBQ.com is the place to go. So, what have we learned? You head on over to TastyLicksBBQ.com. Enjoy Fred's videos that he puts up on his page. There's like 200 to choose from. Don't forget, Tasty Licks manufactures their own line of rubs and sauces as well. Got to try those. They're very good. And when you order, drop Fred a line. Tell him, hey, I hear you on the show all the time. We appreciate that you support the Barbecue Central show. We're going to support you now with some orders. It's appreciated by everybody involved. TastyLicksBBQ.com. That's TastyLicksBBQ.com. All right, we'll come back with a little bit of a little bit of Tim Grant. Just reading a quick email. And we'll talk some True Bud Barbecue. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. If you want to jump in on the show tonight, you can also email Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. In about 22 minutes from now, Scotty Johnson, Cancer Suck Chicago. But before we do that, we will head on over to the hotline where we grab the pitmaster of the hotly cooking, no pun intended, and first place ranked in the KCBS, Tim Grant True Bud barbecue team. Tim, how are you, buddy?
Doing great, Greg. Thanks again for having us on the show.
Oh, always appreciate you making time for the show, Tim. I mean, you guys are, really having one of the epic years that maybe you've ever had in competition. I mean, as you look back, you haven't been in it for like 15 years, but, over the course of, a number of seasons now under your belt, how does this rank compared to your starts from, the other seasons?
Yeah, definitely up there. I'm getting an echo from you, Greg.
Are you?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to call you right back, all right?
Okay.
We get that every once in a while. Little echo. Sometimes Skype doesn't work exceptionally well all the time. Is that any better, Tim?
Believe so.
All right.
It's still big echo.
Big echo?
Yeah.
Trying to figure out.
Let's try it. I think it may have just disappeared.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
Sounds good now.
All right, good. So, you're really having quite an exceptional year compared to even the last couple seasons.
Yeah, we've gotten very consistent, with our cooks, and it's just working out that way. We've been hitting the right tables, and judges are liking our food, and we kind of started off the year. We started off the year with 2 wins, and then got a couple, a 6th and an 8th, and ended up, I bought a new porch trailer, and Jamie got me a new Jambo, and ever since then it's just been rock solid. And I definitely I think the ease of pulling into a contest and really focusing on a cook. I think we've taken full advantage of that because the last 8 cooks, we've got 5 firsts and 3 seconds. So I'll take that any day.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, and I think, what is it, total now of 7 Grand Championships this year, 3 reserves in total. You've done, 13, 14 events in total?
I've got 7 Grands, 4 reserves, 2 6th, and an 8th.
Wow,
so
yeah.
That's 13 contests.
That's it's a pretty good win/reserve Grand Championship percentage, right?
Yeah, that's not too bad. Actually, 14 contests, so 50%. So, who wouldn't take that, right? I mean, we're just, we're really thankful for that, and we're having a lot of fun, and of course it's fun, to win, but it's definitely making it for the year for us. So
you had mentioned the trailer, you'd mentioned the new pit. Are those two things kind of key or essential for any team to really become consistent and give themselves the best shot at winning weekend in, weekend out?
If you're going to cook every weekend, I would highly suggest investing in something that can take you out of the elements, let you concentrate on what you're trying to, prepare. I see a lot of teams that, and it also depends on when you want to cook. So, I mean, if you want to cook 11 months out of the year, I mean, in my mind, I think you really have to have something like that. We cooked in Columbia where there was like 3 feet of snow. We were in Nebraska where there was a sleet storm. We were already down in Phoenix, and of course it's nice weather down there. But I just think that if you really want to get serious, I don't know if a pop-up tent's going to, the elements are gonna. It could be really windy, really rainy. It just kind of takes that piece out of it and lets you concentrate on the cook.
Let me jump off here just for a second here, Tim. There's probably a handful of teams that are out there doing, let's say, 30, 35-plus competitions every year. Typically you're going to find those teams in the hunt for KCBS Team of the Year when it's all said and done because they're out there doing it quite a bit, and they're able to kind of hone that consistency that everybody is always preaching when they're on this show when I'm talking to other pitmasters. Look, this is a freaking expensive thing to do that many times during the course of a year. How are you funding this? How are you able to go through and do this many competitions? I mean, granted, you're winning, but last time I checked, it's not like you're pulling down, $150,000 first place prize money. I mean, it's what you're investing and what the kickback is doesn't usually match up.
No, and definitely not. We're winning some good money every once in a while. You might hit some contests that's $3,000 or $4,000, but I think last time I was talking to you, I spent $8,000 in brisket. I spend money every which way I look when it comes to barbecue. So, you definitely, for me, it's a hobby. Whether you raise horses or you do something, it seems like every hobby is expensive. So, I think it just has to make sense to you. A lot of people, come up to me and talk to me about, getting a trailer or getting into a trailer or some sort, or buying a Jambo, going from, a WSM to maybe a more expensive cooker, and I've always just told people, it makes sense for me. It has to make sense for you. You don't want to put your family in jeopardy just because you want to win a barbecue contest. I went and, you can win barbecue contests with WSM. So, you just have to, be careful on the spend. That's what I would warn people, because you can, just like with anything else, you can spend too much money on it. So
we're talking with Tim Grant, pitmaster of True Bud Barbecue. You can find him at truebudbbq.com if you want to check that website out while we're talking. Tim, is there anything that KCBS could be doing or promoters putting on events that might be able to kick up that prize money to at least afford a break even for some of these teams?
There's lots of money out there. I think I'm seeing events become sponsored by casinos. I'll be going to one this weekend that the prize money is going to be like $35,000. So I mean, I really see the larger contests gaining momentum. There's more of those contests that are attracting larger sponsors. So barbecue is becoming more and more, I believe, a sport. And definitely it's going to attract more money. So, I think really what KCBS, I really hopefully, they will tag along and follow that and continue to make this sport, something better, because, 5-6 years ago, I don't think it was near the sport that it is today. So, just making sure that, they're providing for the teams and giving us a fair shake. I've always been about tracking the judges. If you can track the judges and set them in assigned seats when they get to a contest, make sure that they're doing everything they can to give us teams a fair shot at winning. Because whether you go in, you hit a hot table or you hit a cold table. I don't want that to happen to anybody. I don't want to go in and win an event by hitting a hot table. I want to go in and win the event because I cooked the best food.
I was going to say, shouldn't it not be about hot or cold tables? It's just how you cooked and.
Absolutely, but unfortunately, you don't have that. I mean, it's not always that way. You know, I've lost contests and I've won contests because I've hit those tables. So, you know, I don't feel that's fair to anybody. I want what I'm deserved of, and hopefully, you know, the KCBS continues to work towards that. I believe they're on the right track, but sometimes, you know, I just wish, you know, if you're in the now, you wish that you know, they were really working at it harder. I think that's my opinion.
Like what are some things that you would offer up as suggestions? I mean, we are dealing with humans, so there is going to be individual differences. You know, whether we like to admit it or not, they're just going to be.
Absolutely, everything's subjective to the person judging your food. But in my opinion, I've heard some stories, you know, over the years that, you know, well, maybe from the KCBS rep, we saw this lady and she was, you know, given just 6s, and we tried to talk to her and she was adamant about giving 6s, you know, or you know, there was truly a table that, you know, had they were all new judges and they just didn't know how to score correctly, you know. So, you know, I believe that with this new scoring system, I haven't seen it out this year, that KCBS has been working on. I really believe that will give us, you know, the ability to put an average on judges, and judges, in my opinion, should have an assigned seat when they get to the contest. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me if you're a high-scoring judge or a low-scoring judge. Just don't put those type of same judges at the same table. And if you have an average, you know, I've heard a lot of people talk about, well, we need to train the judges more. We need to train them more, continue some education. You know, that's all good. I believe that we should do that. But if you put an average on a person, how they judge, you know, accordingly to each contest, then you can put a high scorer in seat 1 and a low scorer in seat 2, and you could come up with a set. You know, table A has, you know, an average, and table B has an average, and table C has an average. So, you know, that's just my opinion. You know, I think there's lots of ideas out there, but I think what I hear a lot of the people saying the same is we want something better. We just wish that it was more fair across the board when your food's being judged.
Do you hear about these judges requiring or demanding doggy bags after the fact when the contest is over? I mean, you do a lot of competitions. That's something that is pretty regular amongst their demands?
I think so. I mean, you know, every contest I go to, you know, you see all the judges carrying coolers and bags. I mean, you know, personally,
is that ridiculous, you know, or what?
You know, I don't really care. I know a lot of people get fired up about that, but you know, I don't know. I don't know what else they can do with the food. I'm sure they could gather it all up and give it to a homeless shelter. You know, I'd vote for that in a heartbeat. But I don't know if there's, you know, some rules and regulations against doing that, or, you know, or what. So, you know, rather than the food go in the trash, you know, personally, I don't care what they do with it. So, you know, I think some people have a bad opinion, or, you know, an opinion about that because they think people, you know, the judges are just coming there to, you know, fill their doggy bags.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't thought a lot about that, Greg. So I don't really know how to answer that, I guess.
So, as we talk about judges, as we talk about teams, as we talk about moving forward with more prize money, you know, given the fact that, you know, doing 30 or 35 competitions definitely excludes the majority of teams that are registered, probably within any sanctioning body. Do you think, or do you foresee, or would you predict that there is a super pro faction that might split off at some point, where it's more of a, and I always hate to go back to the NASCAR example, but more of a NASCAR feel where you see, you know, True Bud sponsored with, you know, Clorox on one patch and, you know, Mr. Clean on another. Those are the both same, of course. And Oscar Mayer wieners on the, you know, back, and you're filled with patches, and your Jambo pits filled with sponsorship stuff. But it's, you know, now it's more of a race for a championship, and you're not spending all of your money. Do you foresee some style of that competition barbecue emerging?
I think I do. You know, there's a lot of trailers out there that got sponsors already, and they're, that's I really think that, if you look at NASCAR, how NASCAR started, I kind of think that it's a similar where barbecue's at right now, and if barbecue does take off and the right people, I think there's a lot of right people involved around the U.S., trying to make barbecue, put barbecue on the map more than it is today. I think that's exciting. For me, everything I own, my trailer, we're going to show up. We want to look like a NASCAR team. We want to have the best trailer. We want it to pop when it shows up. We're proud of what we do, and there's nothing wrong with that. Some people probably are, may scoff at us or, be upset, but it's my money. It's my hobby. I'm trying to do, I want to be the best at it. And that's how I am. I want to be the best at everything I do, whether it's barbecue, the job that I'm in, if I'm playing a game of basketball, I'm going to go out and I want to beat you. That's just my, that's my attitude and my, what I try to do. So, it's just, I really pride myself in my team. I have a great team. I have a great group of friends. And it's just it's a way to have a great time. And I think a lot of people understand that, and a lot of people do that.
Tim Grant joining us here on the show, True Bud BBQ Pitmaster. Tim, you're obviously experienced a lot of success, so people are asking me all the time, well, next time you talk to Tim or next time he's on the show, you don't have to get too specific, but just in general, for the 4 meats that are turning in, what kind of flavor profiles seem to be hitting? And you're cooking all over the place. It's not like you're just cooking in, one region of the country. What flavor profiles seem to be hitting for the beefs and the porks and the chickens and the ribs?
Minus the beef, I think that my food is probably sweet and spicy. That's kind of the Kansas City way to cook barbecue. And I really think when I get out of my region, I think it's a taste profile that everyone loves. And I haven't cooked a lot on the East Coast, but I've had some friends that come from the Midwest that go out to the East Coast. Sometimes they talk about changing things, and I don't necessarily know if I would go to the East Coast if I would change something, just because I know what I'm cooking and I believe in what I'm cooking, that it's good. That's my opinion. My beef profile is I think when you taste my beef, you're tasting beef. I'm not heavy saucer. I'm not, I want you to be able to taste the meat that I'm cooking. But the chicken and ribs and the pork, I think it's more on the spicy, sweet side.
So here's the question. I was talking with Dave Bosca last week, and, he's well known. Obviously, he's a great competition cook, but he's got these great line of products as well. And he's recently just introduced this injection for chicken. Now, look, when I started doing the show, like way back in the day when it was just me long-forming people and then, producing a 20-minute show of just, like, the best part of the interview, I was having a conversation with Fast Eddie, and at that point, this was probably 7 years ago or so, he was saying that, he didn't inject brisket at that point, but he had just started to inject pork butt, and it seemed like almost weird for him to think about. Fast forward all this time, it seems brisket, everybody's going to inject. Pork butt, everybody's going to inject. Now, Dave's rolled out this Bird Booster product, is chicken injection. Have you ever messed around with chicken injection at all?
No, I haven't. No, I won't. I love Dave to death. He's a great cook. He knows exactly what he's doing and his products. I believe in his products. But I'm not going to inject my chicken. I see teams today that they're going away from injections. Just food for thought on that one. But the beef and the pork, you definitely don't have to inject those to win. But there are some good injections out there. So I know quite a few teams that are going away from injections. But
are they doing something? Are they doing something to supplement instead of injecting, or they're just not doing it at all?
They're just not doing it.
Wow.
They're just letting the meat stand for themselves, and it's just I think you can win with that. So but there are some good injections out there. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that I've heard more and more teams. I think getting the right injection in your food, in your product, it's touch and go. You can definitely over inject your meat. Under injecting it, not so bad, but you definitely can pump it full of stuff that you don't need to. So,
Tim, where are you guys going to be competing at next?
We're doing double this weekend. We're going to head to State Center, and then we're going to Treasure Island up in Minnesota. So we got a long road trip ahead of us, but it's going to be a fun trip.
No doubt about it. Tim Grant is the pitmaster of True Bud Barbecue, currently sitting atop the KCBS Team of the Year points race. 7 Grand Championships, which obviously qualifies them for the Jack Daniels. And obviously, as that contest draws a little bit closer, Tim, we'll have you back on and kind of get your thoughts as to where you're cooking at that point and how that might build into the Jack. And then, of course, the 4 Reserve Grand Championships, so having quite a year. Tim, always appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Hey, thanks a lot, Greg. Appreciate it.
You got it. There he is. Tim Grant. And I hate to say it, but I had a whole Jack Daniels thing that we were going to be talking about because he did qualify with his last win was number 7, so to talk about that, but we just got wrapped up in all sorts of great barbecue talk and forgot about the Jack. We'll have him on again, don't worry. It's fine. See, this is what's great. You have good guests. They take you in many different directions. You don't get to the half of the stuff that was on your outline to talk to them about, and, well, wouldn't you know it, now you're primed and ready to go for another interview later down the road. There you go. No, I believe he didn't say he doesn't inject anything. The good doctor asking. Hit him up on the Facebook, Doc. So speaking about good rubs and injections and all that stuff, I want to talk to you for a few minutes about JP Custom Smoke. Folks, you're literally missing out on perfect scores and grand championships. And if you don't believe me, you can just ask John and Tina Patty. A couple weeks ago, they just walked away with the Grand Championship at the Valley Center, Kansas City Spring Fling event. First-time event, by the way, yeah. These are folks who not only sell rubs to the general barbecue public or grilling public, they use it in their competition repertoire. That means processed, by the way. And they also win with them. So, look, it's painfully obvious that you're the ones who are going to benefit from this the most. John, some of the most sought-after rubs on the market today. It's about time you start enjoying the rewards as well. Here's what you have to choose from. JP's Sweet Heat Chicken Rub, which is now my go-to chicken rub. I absolutely love it. The flavor profiles are second to none. Then, of course, you have the long-standing, well-tried, and having a lot of success JP Customs Blend for pork. And then the all-new, brand new to the market, JP Custom Smoke Beef Rub, which was part and parcel 1A, 1B to my most successful brisket I've ever cooked on Memorial Day these past couple weeks. That beef rub is something special. You have to try it. There's no doubt about it. Look, if you can't wait to get your hands on all of these flavors, I understand it. I'm sitting here, I'm doing the read, and I want to buy more just as we're sitting here talking about it. I'm going to visit jpcustomsmoke.com during the rest of this break. You can do it as well, jpcustomsmoke.com. Get yourself some. Get yourself 2 of each. Thank me later. Get yourself 2 of each. And if you don't compete like me, this will have the neighbors wondering how your barbecue far outshines the rest of the D-bags in the neighborhood. When I say D-bag, I mean douchebag.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Attention, England. You familiar with this, England? It's across the pond, as they say. No longer are you left out of the JP Custom Smoke craze. Starting very soon, you too will be able to buy JP Custom Smoke rubs from Paul Valentine at the Barbecue Rub and Sauce Company. Haven't gotten the website address yet. Let me check my phone just to make sure. No. But soon enough, I will have a web address for all of my good friends in the Englands, and you too will be able to get on this crazy train called JP Custom Smoke Rubs. And as soon as I get it, or as soon as John gets it to me, I will Facebook it, tweet it, mention it here on the show during the reads. It's going to be great. So if you are over in England and you are looking for some great barbecue rubs, just wait a few more moments, and then you will be able to buy it from the Barbecue Rub and Sauce Company. Barbecue Rub and Sauce Company. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
Get in the smoke. Call 877-448-0433 to get on the air. Now, here's your host, Grampy.
Big B, Moonshine Band, Suburban Waste Records. Let's go! I'm an outlaw. Give me 2 shots.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. I got to fix my thing here. It's the only thing I don't like about this whole thing. Got to always be dicking around with. There we go. Now we got it set up. All right. My next guest, you would know him as the pitmaster of Cancer Sucks Chicago. The website, cancersuckschicago.com. We'll race over and grab Scotty Johnson. Scotty! How are you, buddy?
Good, man. How's it going, Greg?
Well, absolutely fabulous, Scotty. Appreciate you asking, and, of course, always appreciate you making time for the show. And,
likewise. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always my pleasure. And, so the thing that we're talking about tonight, and I want to make sure I go over to the Facebook post that has spawned this little meeting. And we'll talk about a bunch of other stuff as well while we have the time. But you posted something on Facebook. Hypothetical question. If you receive an award at a barbecue contest, we'll say in a side category, not being the Big Four KCBS meets, and the organizer calls you up after the awards and say they messed up and you didn't really finish in that place, and can we have the check and the trophy back, do you send them back? Everybody said no way.
Big stuff out of here.
In their minds, they said no way. But you said, I'm not going to post my thought just because I would like to hear what other folks have to say. So, look, the overwhelming majority of folks that have friended you on Facebook seem to be the best people in the world. Is this really, hypothetical?
I would expect nothing less, though, to be honest with you. So,
is it really a hypothetical situation?
Absolutely it is, Greg.
Right.
I've changed the names to protect the innocent. It happened at a contest. A few of the guys out there, friends of mine, obviously, they also got the calls, and they returned them immediately. Of course, you don't want to do that. I mean, who wants to? But I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I had a first place ribbon, and it was a side category, it wasn't for the main four,
right?
Through the KCBS deal. They, if I was looking at a first place or a second place ribbon, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, to be honest with you, if I was sitting there claiming it as mine and I didn't rightly win it, and I'm going to display the thing or do whatever with it. It just, I don't know. I threw it out there, and to be honest with you, most of the cooks didn't disappoint, and they did what I thought everyone would say they would do anyway. So,
are there any percentage of people that are amongst your Facebook friends that you would think would say, I'm keeping it, and I'm keeping the money and the ribbon, and that's their mistake and not mine?
There's always, I wouldn't be able to name anyone, no, but there's always going to be the small minority in anything, whether it be, this for returning ribbons and money that's not theirs or whatever in life. There's always going to be someone. Does that make them bad? I don't know. I don't know what kind of financial situation they're in or anything like that. But let's face it, if you're in a financial difficulties and you're, selling your grandma's silverware to compete, you shouldn't be competing. So I would hope that $200 isn't going to, while it's great to have, don't get me wrong, I'm not going to throw it away. But, I don't know. If it's just not yours, it's, and then the way the organizer dealt with it was, okay, fine. Keep the ribbon, keep the money. We'll actually cut you a new check, and it actually got a little bigger and deeper than that. But they ended up honoring it, and they gave it back. And the guys that actually had returned the ribbons and the money, they're probably going to be getting a nice little discount next year from the contest organizers. So they appreciate that they stepped up and returned the what didn't really belong to them. So,
all right, so while we're on the hypothetical train here just for a second, do you think that the same amount of people, because look, they're reading, they see it's a side category, it's not life changing by any stretch, it's not, you're not winning grand championship with a side category. Let's say some crazy thing happens and Scotty Johnson's called for grand championship, and there was just a horrific error, an oversight somewhere that nobody caught. And after the fact, they said, Scotty, you really finished at 5th place or 10th place. You're going to have to give back.
That actually happened out in New Mexico, so I guess after some lobbying by a certain team, they ended up winning the contest, and someone that was declared the winner was removed from the winner. So,
is it hard? Would it be harder?
Barbecue.
Would it be harder in that situation? Would it be harder in that situation to give back grand championship prize money and the grand championship award?
It would be one thing, I think, if you won it and there was an error. When you go and lobby, though, to me that's something different. Then now you're creating opening up a whole new can of worms that you're trying to better yourself by lobbying for it. I don't know if I agree with that. If I'll come out and say it. It was at the Westmont contest, and the side category was if you bought your meats and stuff like that from a local sponsor, a supermarket, you got. And if you were the highest team that paid to get into that, basically bought their meat from them, you got the money.
Got it.
Well, the organizer in the rush to get everything done for awards, he screwed up and he missed a couple teams. That affected the whole awards. They gave the top 3 teams, and it wasn't chump change. It was $1,000 a category. So, it was good money.
Right.
It was an error on the organizer's part. Did they step up and they said, look, if you don't want to do it, okay, then we're going to honor the money and you keep the money. I was just sort of, honestly, I was a little shocked that anyone would want to do that and keep it even though they didn't win it, especially when you didn't win it. So I just wanted to throw it out there, and I guess it was sort of a hot button.
Yeah, a lot of replies for that. We're talking with Scotty Johnson, pitmaster of Cancer Sucks Chicago barbecue team, CancerSucksChicago.com, the website. Hey, while you're listening to us, get over to that website, make a donation. Both Scotty and I will give you high fives whenever we see you if you do it. $5 donation, you get a high five just like that. $20, you get 4 high fives just like that. I don't high five, so Scotty's going to have to give you all the high fives. What's the competition season looking like for you right now, Scotty? How's everything going?
Well, I had knee surgery in February, so I was actually I've only cooked 2 contests the last 2 weekends, or actually I had last weekend off, but I cooked Memorial Day here at my local contest at Westmont, Illinois, and then I cooked, went out to New Hampshire last weekend for my 38th state that we've cooked in, so far, reserve and a 7th place, so we'll take it. I definitely am not in the groove right now, but I don't cook enough now to really get into that massive groove anymore, but you just got to be able to cook good barbecue, so.
How many events
every time out there, no screwing around.
Yeah, no doubt. How many events do you have put on the calendar right now?
I think I'm at, it'll probably be around 12, probably 13 to 15. I'm trying to do a little more Saturday, Sunday contests this year. Work's a little crazy, so, and then I'm going to be going out to Reno to do that Reno Rib Fest again. And, that's a whole week out there, and that's basically the way you look at it is 5 contests. But, don't get me wrong, I love competing, but I just can't do it every single weekend like how I used to do it. It's tough with all the things I got on my plate. But I still get out there, and I still want to be swinging for the fences. So,
Scotty Johnson joining me here on the show. I asked Tim Grant this last segment, Scotty, I want to get your take, but a little bit different spin on the question. I was asking him what is hitting now flavor profile-wise for the Big Four, at least in the KCBS. My question to you is, you've been doing this for a while. You've won, any number of really big contests, including, obviously, the Jack Daniels. How have you seen flavor profiles evolve over the last 4, 5, 6 years from, what they were now or what they were then to where they are now?
I guess if there was probably one major thing, it'd be the sweet. Obviously people used, honey and that kind of stuff in the past. But now guys are using, agave, certain kinds of apple juice just because they're more, sweet and flavorful and all that. It was, I guess the best way to describe it is the flavors were dull before, and now all of a sudden, from 7 years ago when I won the Jack, since then, I would just say the flavors are just, and I'm not saying that it's using so much more. The flavors are just more powerful and, more condensed kind of thing. So
how
for myself, I've still been using the same, Blues Hog and Smoking Guns, and, I'm still using the same stuff. I'm adding things to them over the years, but I'm still using the base stuff that I used before. So,
back 7-8 years ago, were you still injecting pork butt and brisket, or was that still, or at that point was that kind of an up and coming fad or trend?
I've completely been using Fab ingredients from the ingredientstore.com from the get-go. Got to meet, or I actually never met him in person, but we exchanged emails and phone calls and everything with Joe Ames when he was developing the Fab injections, which was very cool. And to this day, these guys still sponsor me. So I use them. There's nothing the matter with all the other stuff. It's just it works better for me than the other guys. So, I've tried them all, but it works better for me. And honestly, they stand behind me. I stand behind them. So,
Scotty Johnson from
Great
Cancer.
Product.
Yeah, good product, absolutely. Scotty Johnson from Cancer Sucks Chicago joining us here on the show. Scotty, as far as the Corliss Johnson Memorial Fund, where are we with that? Goals for this year, things that you're looking to do to, kind of advance the cause and the vision of this whole deal with Cancer Sucks Chicago?
As a foundation, we'll be having our actual 10th anniversary, or 10th year as a foundation golf outing that we have the first weekend in August every year. It will actually be the 11th year, but my friends actually did it for my girls for the first year. So we'll have our 10th anniversary this year. Might do another cooking class. I've had a lot of people asking, but, honestly, this stuff just wears me out. So, and then as a foundation, we've, after donations from last year, 2012, as a foundation, we've donated over $300,000 as a foundation, which just, absolutely blows me away that, one, we've lasted as long as we have, and two, that we've been able to, raise and donate that kind of money. So it's pretty amazing to me.
Is there a time where you think that part of it will stop, the foundation part of it?
No. Never for me. I made that promise when my wife passed away that I would do whatever I could to, so no one else would have to go through what my little girls had to go through, losing their mommy. I mean, Lexi wasn't even 2 years old when her mom passed away, so, I was too young. I wasn't even 40 yet, so I had to make a decision, and my decision was to do this. So, if I'm only donating $1,000, I'm still going to keep doing it. So, if cancer hits you close, everyone will understand where I'm coming from. So, like I said, the Corliss, when she was battling it, never gave up. It's hard for me to say I have to give up. So, there's no way I can give up. She fought like a warrior, and I plan on doing the same thing. So.
Do you think it's always going to be through the vehicle of barbecue, or could it potentially transition out of that industry and then into something else?
I'm always going to have my hands in barbecue some sort of way. Maybe I'll retire and become a certified barbecue judge, but, there's always going to be barbecue some way around. I was joking on that. I'm not going to become a CBJ. But I'm always open to do other things. Obviously, I'm totally into barbecue now. And so as long as I can keep doing that kind of vehicle of, putting the word out there, we will still have our goals of going out there and seeing the whole country and cooking in every state. So we'll bring our cause to you. So hopefully we reach state number 40 this year. So
38 down, so just a small handful to go before you get to all 50. We're talking with Scotty Johnson, Cancer Sucks Chicago. Of course, the website, cancersuckschicago.com. As I said a little bit earlier, get over there during the show, make a donation, and both Scotty and I will thank you sincerely. Scotty, always appreciate the time. Thanks so much for coming on tonight, buddy.
Absolutely, Greg. Thank you very much for having me again.
You got it. There he is. Class act, Scotty Johnson, talking about a number of things there this evening. But, for real, do a little cancer help here for Scotty and myself. CancerSucksChicago.com, right here. I am wearing the T-shirt tonight, Scotty. I am CancerSucksChicago.com, right. Gang, if you are like me, you are looking for ways to step up the barbecue and grilling game, and what better way to do that? What easier way to do that than hooking yourself up with some Butcher Barbecue products? Look, no validation needed here. Dave, a master cook, been on television a number of times. Any number of teams and the various sanctioning bodies that sweep across this great land are using Butcher Barbecue products. We all know that Butcher's is well known for their injections, the pork, the beef, now the Prime injection, and now the Bird Booster chicken injection. Maybe you're familiar with that. We talked about that with Dave last week. Of course, the go-to rubs and sauces, the steak and brisket rub, the honey rub, the premium rub, which works hand-in-hand with the Butcher's Prime injection, formulated to work with it specifically. It's a 1-2 punch that will impress friends and judges alike. And, of course, the sweet barbecue sauce, which I personally love. I'm always telling people, get a bottle. Get a box of 6. It's going to go fast. You're going to use it in a number of different ways. You're going to mix it with stuff. You're going to use it by itself. You're going to cut it with something else. Who knows? No worries when it comes to shipping either. Items totaling up to $55 ship at $8.50. 55 to 200 ship at $9.75. Anything over $200 ships free. You head on over to butcherbbq.com. You stock up now and thank me later. Also, if you have a competitor's commercial injection, you've noticed the scores start to fall. You've noticed that the high fives from your neighbor buddies aren't coming nearly as frequently. You can go to the trade-in portion of their website and print off the label. Send the commercial injection over to Dave. He will weigh it and in return give you back Butcher Barbecue products. He's keeping not only his customer base happy, his competitors' customer base happy as well if they aren't happy what they just bought. Not wasting any more money anymore. Head on over to butcherbbq.com. That's butcherbbq.com. Butcher Barbecue. Always trust your butcher. He will wrap up the second hour, We'll wrap up the first hour coming back. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back, 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Those are 2 ways to get in touch with the show. Thanks again to Scotty Johnson, Cancer Sucks Chicago. Look, I have to say, honestly, that I am not surprised, not even one little lick, that the majority of barbecue people are not interested in keeping accolades, money, or likewise that they didn't actually win. Feels real good to get your name called. Feels real good to get that check in the bank or at least have it on the way home. Looking at it fondly. Ooh, you thousands of dollars. Then to be told, hey, there was an error. You know, if you look at it Bug, sorry. If you look at it in a different way, you're giving up the money. No one's going to be able to take the call away from you. No one's going to be able to take the walk away from you. So, while you didn't technically earn it, when it's all said and done, at that moment, everything was Jake. And you made the walk. And I think if here's a hypothetical question. Hypothetical question here for the chat room. Would you... Oh, boy. This is a dangerous question. In the end, honestly, would you rather get the call of your name and walk the stage, or would you rather get a $400 or $500 check, $1,000 check? Foregoing the call. With the money, or do you want the call? I think 98% of people would say that they want to get the call. They want to walk the stage. They want to see everybody cheering for them. They want to feel like that they have accomplished something amongst their peers. Hey, money's great, right? Who doesn't love money? But if you're giving the teams the choice of saying, hey, you can have cash and go away quietly, or you can walk the stage in front of all these teams that you've cooked against during the course of the weekend and, get a little recognition. I'm guessing people want the call. I'm going to put it up there on the Facebook. I'm looking right now. I take the call. I agree with Dave. I will pass gas in their general direction. Don, what does that mean? Randy, call. Never kept a trophy I've won. Blake Moody, the call. David Marks. Not saying anything. All right. Kent Wheelis. Call. Crash. Crash, what are you doing? Look at this guy. Hawaii Crash. Hawaii Crash O is in the house. Wow, Crash, what's up? It's POW when it's POW. I didn't say that. Crash said that. Also, in the first hour, we talked to Tim Grant, TrueBudBBQ.com. Talking flavor profiles and what's winning, talking about sponsorship, how to spend wisely, not putting your family in danger when you're doing competition barbecue. If it's a choice between eating this week and going to a barbecue competition, shouldn't be much of a choice. But, if you're really into it, you might take that into account. Do I feed the family, or do I go to Buffalo to compete? Folks, if you have to ask, it is feed the family. So, got to feed the family first. All right, we're going to be stepping away here to reload for the second hour. Great second hour plan. Mo Case on still. Maybe the Iron Chef, Michael Simon. Cleveland guy. Could be potentially helping out his Cleveland buddy boy. We've never met officially in person. I just look at him on the Twitter. So there you go. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. I'm going to refuel. You do the same, and I will catch you at the top of the hour. Stick around. We'll be right back. Happy to have you aboard here for the Really Big Barbecue Show.
We cook because we have to, and we grill because we want to.
Fine, how's it going?
You have a great show. I'm a big fan.
So what seems to be the problem here? This man looks like he's dead, and he's in the crackle.
Charbono! It's all about the Charbono, dude!
Succulent fish. What?
We ate 54 wieners. But listen, Lavernius, shake a face.
I'm shaking like a dog shit peach seeds.
We have top men working on it right now. Top men.
All right. We are in the second hour. No, you are not seeing me just yet because I'm just finishing up making my libation. No camera in the kitchen tonight. Sorry, can't see it. I don't know if I've made this one before or not. Honey Jack and lemonade. Oh, man, is it a succulent summer treat. All right, welcome back. Hey, we're done. Could anybody even hear me just then? Was anybody hearing me when I was talking about that? Anybody got a score on the game for a brother here doing a show? Where are we at? Oh, Spurs up by 10. Thank you. Tony Parker must have decided to show up and play. Hey, Sweet Brown.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Thank you, Sweet Brown, for running it. Look here. Check the emails. 43-32 Spurs. All right. Look, the Miami Heats are in a bad way. You know, they win. Everybody's, they're not surprising anybody if they win. They lose. It's going to be a travesty, and the team's going to blow up, and LeBron James is going to be coming back to Cleveland after next year. Welcome back, LeBron. We missed you. Still to come in about 13 minutes from now, Big Mo Cason, Ponderosa Barbecue. Potentially Michael Simon. I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay. On next week's show programming, the Grill Girl, Robin Lindars, will be joining us for her regular monthly appearance. I have added some other guests that I need to get to my Google Calendar for. Does anybody else use Google Calendar? Man, it is one of the best things ever on the face of the earth. Also, the main man over at the Barbecue Guru, Bob Trudnak, is in for next week. And the main man from MMA Creative and the creator of the World Food Championships, Mike McLeod, also joining us. Huge show next week already. Look, I got to be honest. Folks, you're not going to be able to tell because my hosting skills are so refined and so professional. But as of like 1:30 today, I had no guests for the show. No guests.
Big stuff out of here.
You know what? That's a lie. I did have one guest. That was Tim Grant. But I did not have any other guests. I was going to write Tim an email. I said, Tim, just so you know, you're going to be doing 4 segments with me tonight. Luckily, I was able to book through, but, you know, right around 1:30 this afternoon. Wouldn't be lying if I said there was a little bit of turtle action happening, if you know what I mean.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, the Sam's Club Series rolled into Asheville, North Carolina this past weekend, gang. This was a local qualifier that will feed into the Chesapeake, Virginia regional final, which will take place on September 7th. Of course, we know that Chesapeake, Virginia, or the state of Virginia, is also what? A commonwealth. I don't know what a commonwealth is, but I know all of them. Virginia is one of them. Top 6 teams moving on to the regional round in Chesapeake, Virginia are as follows, winning Grand Championship with a 6.6285 Deep South Barbecue. Second place with a 6.62.28 Terabyte Barbecue. They must be nerds. Terabyte, as Phil Robertson would say, too many nerds. Terabyte Barbecue wins reserve, so they missed out just over 0.6 of a point. Smokehouse Mafia winning 3rd place. Smoke This, 4th place. Grog and Hogs, 5th place. And a previous barbecue competition roundtable pitmaster, 2 Old Men and a Grill, round out top 6. They all move on. All marching on to Chesapeake, Virginia. Anybody know what the other commonwealths across the country are? Let me write them down. We already said Virginia. Of course, we know that one is. Of course, we know that one is. And, of course, we know that one is. All right, so I've given you one. That leaves 3 remaining. Pennsylvania is correct, Don. Kentucky is correct, Don. Massachusetts is correct. C. Benny. 1, 2, 3. All right, so we've gotten all 4. Absolutely fantastic. Just fun fact, ladies and gentlemen, for your education, if somebody says, can you name the commonwealths? It's Virginia, it's Pennsylvania, it is Virginia, and it is Massachusetts. So there you go. And then, folks, there's this. As I stated, wait, did I not state that in the first hour? We were talking, well, maybe we didn't. You know, it's Barbecue Pitmastership. So look, what I was going to say in the first hour, that last week we also had talked, in the segment coming up last week, we talked with Lin Chi from MasterChef. Lin moved on. He had his episode air the following day on Wednesday. He moves on to the next upcoming episode, which airs tomorrow night. So we're cheering for Lin, of course. Great guest, and we wish him nothing but the best. But I told him flat out, I'm not a fan of that show. So look, as I had stated earlier in last week's show, I'm just not a huge fan of these styles of cooking shows. And I know I'm in the vast minority. I just can't get with that style of show. Just my opinion. And if you like those, then, hey, I'm good with that for sure. That is absolutely your opinion. You watch what you want to watch. You trust what you want to watch. So I'm faithfully watching Barbecue Pitmasters in its new season live. And they announced that they'll be in Alabama this time around. And I have a pretty good idea who the guest judge might be. And, of course, none other than barbecue legend and restaurateur extraordinaire Chris Lilly. So a huge step up from the guest judge the week prior, Al Bubba Baker. So all things going well until we get to the Pitmasters. Now, look, I'm okay with Pig Daddy being on the show. I'm good with the dude from Kentucky. And to be honest, I do have a soft spot in my heart for the Commonwealth of Kentucky, as we just frequently talked about, or we just talked about a few seconds ago, for a number of reasons. But that's a different show for a different day. And then we get to Sarah Horowitz. Look, I know. Here come the emails, right? Here come the tweets. Rampy, why do you have it in for her? What did she ever do to you? You're a jealous bastard.
Get that free stuff out of here.
Let me save you some time. I hear you. I get it. But you are going to sit here and tell me that in the wide, sweeping world of barbecue in its many forms, that this lady is the one that best fits the need for this show? Do a little research on Sarah Horowitz. She is a reality TV show pub hound. She has been on a version of Barbecue Pitmasters like way back in the day. The one that was like Mike Davis was on and some other dudes. That might have been, I think it was Outdoor Living Network, OLN channel, whatever. Chris Lilly might have actually been part of that show as well. She didn't win that one. Then she was on Hell's Kitchen, one of my favorite shows. It was a disaster. She didn't win that one either. Then she went on another barbecue show like a year or so ago. She didn't win that one. And here she is on Pitmasters this past weekend, not winning again.
Get that free stuff out of here.
Hey, getting on once or twice and not winning, okay, I can see that. But, this is not a top pitmaster. Granted, the other two guys on the show weren't super recognizable per se. But they do the barbecue thing, the restaurant thing for a living. Pig Daddy competes as well. He's won awards. I can't figure out if Sarah is fully into barbecue or if it's just a vehicle for her to use to get on TV more. Either way, continuing to put her up and not having her win, at some point, this isn't a good look for a lot of people.
Get that free stuff out of here.
It's not. It's not a good look. Let's open up the search party a bit more, at least from here on out. I mean, isn't there one better person that could have won in her place? Gotta be. Not only was there an and there's this, and there... and... Hello? Oh. Just turned my ear thing off. And then there's this. No names, please. Top man in the industry forwarded this to me. No names. Rule number 1. Sarah Horowitz, Bieber's tour chef, busted for beating up boyfriend. Allegedly. Justin Bieber's hijinks, apparently contagious. A woman who claims she was hired to work as his chef has been charged with beating up her boyfriend. Sarah Horowitz, who placed 4th overall on Season 2 of Hell's Kitchen, apparently isn't very nimble when it comes to food, because according to legal documents, she dropped a cooler filled with food inside a car and it made a mess. Apparently, Sarah's boyfriend, El Paso TV weatherman Mark Mathis, was none too pleased, and they started arguing. According to cops, things escalated, and Sarah allegedly punched and kicked Mark about the head, neck, and chest, breaking his glasses and scratching his face. She was promptly arrested on April 10th for assault/family violence and charged the next day with a misdemeanor. We reached out to Sarah. So far, no comment.
Get
Now, you might be saying, what kind of trashy rag are you getting this from? Let me tell you, I have it on very good authority that where does anybody find their news out? No, not Craigslist. TMZ.com. Reputable. Not kidding, by the way, reputable. So as bad as it was for her not winning this past Sunday, she is now allegedly beating up her weatherman boyfriend because somebody dropped a cooler in somebody's car. Sweet Brown, what do you think about that?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Honey, I know all about it, all too well. Nobody's got no time for it. I didn't even get to the last take of the day. 10 baby names inspired by barbecue season. Well, that's going to be a hoot. We might get to that in the 10:35 segment. Out of the break, Big Mo Cason. You know what I love to do, aside from have a succulent libation? Everybody almost just saw me choke right on the live stream. That would have been awesome. Regardless of time of year, I love to cook on the cooking appliances that I have outdoors, the smokers, the grills. Look, if you have a charcoal-fired cooking appliance, I encourage you to give Kebroke Hardwood Lump Charcoal a try for your next cooking session. Quite simply. One of the best-kept secrets around, used by award-winning barbecue competition teams and backyard warriors just like me. Kebroke Hardwood Charcoal is made from natural hardwood trees without any additives. They only use high-quality wood for their charcoal, not scrap wood or any of these other wastes or additives. This is real charcoal that humans have made for thousands of years. Of course, we are a bit more refined now. We've left the caves. We've now moved out onto the patios and decks and outdoor gardens and such. An all-natural hardwood charcoal performs significantly better than regular charcoal. It burns longer, it's hotter, produces lower amounts of ash, way lower amounts. But the taste that it imparts on your food, second to none. So here's what you do. You visit Kebroke.com. That's Kebroak. Kebroke.com. Find out more about this product. They ship to all continental U.S. states through Amazon.com. Check this out. Amazon offers free shipping on all of their bags, but the most attractive option is the 40-pound bag, which you can get for right about $1 a pound. Most of this week, by the way, and the end part of last week, $35 for the 40-pound bag. Free shipping. Jump on that. But roughly $1 a pound of high-quality hardwood charcoal that you can't find locally. It's delivered to your door directly by Amazon.com. No more hassles of dragging bags through supermarkets or big box stores or anything like that, getting your car full of dust. Forget about that. You're above it. Just get it delivered to you like pizza. I have been using it every weekend for the last 5-6 weeks, and I absolutely love the product. This is actually a fuel that you can suffocate and reuse again, and it does not lose integrity or consistency. I absolutely love it. I think you should be trying it. If you haven't gotten a 40-pound bag, you are doing yourself and your family a disservice by not trying it. And $35, I mean, what do you have to lose? You're not paying shipping. If I'm a liar, you email and tell me I'm a liar, that this stuff sucks. I'm not going to get those emails, I guarantee you. It's been a secret of Southern Miami for years. It's now ready for the world to enjoy. Kebroke Charcoal. Get yours now, Kebroke.com or Amazon.com. Go back through the archives and listen to the interview I did with Sebastian Bussard. It's fascinating. Mo Cason is next, and there's more on the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Hang on.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right. We are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. 10:35, you know, could be, could not be Iron Chef time. I mean, you never know. Never know if it's going to be Iron Chef time, right? But before we see if Michael Simon shows up in 25 minutes or not, we are heading over to the hotline where we find the most popular pitmasters out on tour right now, doing very well, having a great season. It's none other than Big Mo Cason. Ponderosa Barbecue. Big Mo! What's up, buddy?
What's up, man? What's up, Rippy?
Man, you know, I am living the barbecue dream, brother. How about you?
I'm just doing the same, my man. Doing the same.
All right, so, Mo, bunch of stuff to talk about here this evening. And, you know, I was having a conversation with Scotty Johnson last segment, wanted to get your take on it. I mean, you're traveling around quite often. You've been to a number of competitions. You talk to a lot of pitmasters and teams that are out there on the circuit. You know, some that are doing it a lot, some that might just be doing it once or twice a year. You know, speak for yourself. If you were called up as winning a category or getting a call higher than what you should, and then the rep comes back and says, Mo, we've made a mistake. You know, we'd like to have the ribbon and the money back. You got a problem with that, or are you all good with that?
Man, I would give that back in a minute. If I didn't earn it, I don't deserve it.
Simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, if I got called first place in the category and they made a mistake, and the reps come up or the organizer comes up and say, hey, man, we made a mistake and you didn't get first place, I would give that right back.
Big Mo Cason joining us here on the show, pitmaster of Ponderosa Barbecue. Of course, you can visit his website, ponderosabbq.com, while we're talking, if you want to check him out a little bit. Mo, last time we had you on, you were unveiling the Big Mo Cason brand of sauces. You know, a few months have passed. How have you found the success of the sauces? Is it better than expected? Is it right on par? Perhaps is it even a little bit below what you expected? How is that part of business sticking out for you?
Honestly, I'm thrilled. I'm really happy with it. My sauces are in we got a chain here called Dahl's Grocery Chain. It's a really nice, it's about 14 stores. It's not as big as Hy-Vee, but they're kind of more of an upscale type grocery store. My sauces are there. It's online. People are buying it throughout the country. A well-established restaurant called Brick Diner, which is a Des Moines icon restaurant. They switched their sauces they use in their restaurant with mine, which is amazing. That happened about 3 months ago, and they're just loving every bit of it. The owner contacts me and tells me sales have went up and on their sandwiches that they use like, I think 3 or 4 sandwiches and like wings, some other things they use, and everything has been up and up. Sales are up. They're happy. They're thrilled. And this is from a product they used for 25 years. They switched, and it just makes me happy to know that people are enjoying it. I designed the sauce to be more of a kind of backyard sauce. I kind of toned things down a little bit so where you could use it on chicken nuggets. You can use it on hamburger. You can use it on steak. You can use it on pork. You can use it on chicken, whatever, you know what I mean? So that's I designed it for people to go use it in different things. Because, you know, there's sauces out there, barbecue sauce, you just can't use on everything. It's either going to be on ribs or brisket or whatever. And I made this sauce to where it's for the backyard guy. Because the backyard guy, the majority of them, the moms, the dads, they're not cooking briskets every weekend. They're not cooking ribs and pork shoulders and stuff. They're cooking chicken. They're cooking fish. They're cooking, you know, simple things that are quick and easy. And my sauce is designed for that.
You know, when you were making up the recipes, is this just something that is a Mo Cason original? Is it a family recipe that's handed down that you've tweaked over time? What kind of a process was that for you?
Well, my sauce I took to I was at Jack Daniels last year, and I got second place with sauce, and I said, well, I'm going to go ahead and I was already had plans on the next week actually going down to Kansas City and getting the process started, get my sauce bottled. And but what I did is I took a lot of the punch out, just like your first guest, Tim Budd, or I think Scotty was talking. You know, competition sauces today are far different than they were 7 years ago. And just the whole aspect, everything has a lot more punch. I mean, for the injections, for rubs, to sauces. I mean, it's incredible how potent the competition barbecue is because, you know, obviously judges get 1 or 2 bites and they move on. And you want to try to wow them in that 1 or 2 bites. And so Scotty's dead on that, man. It's amazing. And so I took some punch out of the sauce. And because me personally, I wouldn't want to eat sauce like that every day. You know, I just wouldn't want to eat that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So I made it more milder so that people can at home can enjoy it and eat it on, you know, a bunch of different things. So, you know, that's how it started. You know, I already had it in plans to go down to Kansas City and get this sauce started, and then I happen to get lucky and get second place, which, as you go in a barbecue contest, it can go either way, I just happen to, that's just kind of an advertising or marketing thing, and I'm thankful that, I got that, but I was going to do that anyway, so that's what happened, man.
Tim Grant was on first interview segment, so 9:14 last hour, and we were talking about a number of different things, some flavor profile stuff, and he made a pretty unique statement, and I just ran out of time. We didn't really have time to follow up, which, of course, I would next time I have him on, but I want to get your take on it. He had made specific mention to a lot of teams that he knows getting away from injecting at all. Something that you could corroborate, something that surprises you, a little bit of both. What do you think?
I don't have this. I mean, Tim and I are friends. I know him really well. I just everybody I know injects, especially in the pork and the brisket. Now, there's some people out there that don't. That's fine. But I inject. I was kind of a person who didn't for a while, but then it works. It just does. I inject. I use a product out of Texas called Ritter's injection for my brisket, man. I use a few other things in it with it, but man, it really takes that Snake River Farms that I cook, Wagyu briskets, man. It just takes them on another level, man. And I enjoy it. I think it just puts that final snap to what you need. I mean, you can, but like he was saying, you can go over. My injections are really weak. For example, I'll use a quarter cup or half a cup of injection to 20, 30 ounces of liquid. It may not seem very much, but it just adds just a thin layer of extra goodness on the finishing end.
What was the name of that injection?
Ritter's out of Texas.
Can you spell that?
Ritters.
Ritter's. Okay, there you go. I was having a hard time understanding that through the phone line. Magic of phones, of course. All right, so the majority of people are still injecting, at least that you know. Would it surprise you if all of a sudden people started not injecting in an effort to stand out to the judges? The thing that we've talked about on this show for probably a good year and a half now is how similar a lot of things look, how similar flavor profiles are from one box to the next, and what is a team able to do to stand out, but not get all wacky as far as flavor profiles are concerned, where the judges might jerk back and go, oh my God, this stuff is like crazy out of the box. Maybe not injecting might lead them down not such an overt departure. Could that possibly take effect, a move to not injecting?
The thing is, the more when you go to a barbecue contest, Rip, most of your judges that are coming in, you don't get, a ton of judges that have been doing it for a long time. Like, for example, I was over at a contest this weekend in Tecumseh, Oklahoma. I've seen a lot of these judges. These are Oklahoma judges. I've seen them at Shawnee. I've seen them at Miami. I've seen them at Enid. But you always have new judges coming in all the time judging the contest, all the time. And those judges, if you can wow them new judges, with an intense flavor, it works to your favor. It just does. Now, your old seasoned judges that have been doing it forever, they've already seen every pony. They've already seen every trick in the book. So, you just got to cook out good barbecue. And that's why, I think injections are good. I didn't do it for a while, a long time, but, it works. My pork injections, like I said, I told you on the show, when I was on your show back in the day, my injection is something I just get from the grocery store. I mix it up, and it just puts another layer of flavor. I did it again this whole weekend. Granted, I only got a 9th place in pork, and that's how it goes, but it's good. It's better than just not injecting at all. It just has a great flavor. It complements the pork. It just adds richness, more richness than what you get. Because most, like, for example, with pork, unless you're cooking Berkshire, which I was cooking Berkshire for a long time, but I've kind of switched. Now I'm going to Seaboard a little bit, and Duroc. But, a lot of this pork that you get today, doesn't have a lot of good flavor inside. All the flavor and the marbling's been bred out of these hogs. And so you got to add a little something into it to make that pork pop.
We're talking with Mo Cason, Ponderosa Barbecue Pitmaster. PonderosaBBQ.com is his website if you want to check him out. How have you seen flavor profiles evolve from when you got into the game to what is winning now? Is it pretty much similar across the board, or have you seen some pretty dramatic changes over that time?
When I got in, even though I, make my own stuff, their Smoking Guns was like, and it's still going. I mean, Doc Cimarron, Smoking Guns, Blues Hog, Head Country. Back in the day, guys were taking 50% Head Country, 50% Blues Hog, and that was like the norm people were doing. And now, people are getting more creative. I make a raspberry chipotle glaze that I just started, that's part of my new sauces that I put out, but I've been making that since 2006. And, when I was really proud of it. And when I first started competing in 2006, in Iowa, I was putting it on everything, because I was just so happy about it. And it would do okay. But, so I was a new competition guy, and a lot of these judges and stuff are set on, especially where I'm from, around Iowa, they're set on certain flavors, and they shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean? You should judge that product on its individual merit. If some guy's going to glaze his ribs with raspberry chipotle glaze or whatever, is it the best raspberry chipotle glaze ribs you ever had? You know what I mean? And instead, they look at it like, well, that's not Blues Hog, or that's not, this and this. It doesn't taste like that, so I don't like it. So that's another thing, these judges need to be, more aware of, there's different flavors out there, man. If somebody comes in with an orange glaze on a rib, is it good? Is it really good? If it is, score it accordingly, man. Just because it ain't Blues Hog, has nothing against Blues Hog. Blues Hog is, a great product and everything. But, these guys get set on these certain profiles. They learn them in schools, and nothing wrong with schools, but they learn these things. They think that's the norm, and that is not the norm. Barbecue is everything, man. Anybody who wants to, if they want to make a sauce out of whatever, and if it's good, it's good, but I don't mean to go on a tangent on that, but that's the thing, man. I've been hesitant to use my raspberry, but I'm going to use it this weekend. I got a double hitter, and I'm going to bust it out in one or two of my categories, and I'll do a blend on it, but I'm gonna bust it out this weekend.
Mo Cason bringing it strong right here on the Barbecue Central show. Mo, as far as we're going to depart off the competition scene just for a second in a certain way, move over to the TV side of things. We've had a couple episodes of the 5th season of Barbecue Pitmasters air. More recently than that, though, the show Smoked appeared on Destination America as well. So it seems, at least for this year, barbecue is being owned by Destination America with a couple different shows and the reshowing of old Barbecue Pitmaster shows as well. If people didn't see Smoked, you were a part of that. If you could kind of give us a little breakdown of what the thought was behind that show and how that might differ from what we have seen over the last couple of years.
Sure. I was contacted, I don't know, probably February or January, and about this project. And, I said, sure, And it was Citizen Pictures was the production company. Great people. Now, they were pros all the way, man. I mean, they contacted me. They kept me informed. And I was kind of asking, is this has anything to do with Pitmasters? And they're like, nope, it's a completely different deal. And I thought that would be odd, because, Destination America has their farm bid on, Barbecue Pitmasters. That's their home thing.
Right.
So, it was great. They called me and we shot it in March, and I was thrilled. I was humbled, man, for them to call me. And from what they were telling me during the conference calls, I was humbled, man. What they thought about me and what was passed down to them from Discovery, and it made me, I'm like, I was just humbled, man. I was humbled.
So as the whole thing transpired, you watched the finished product, obviously. Was it pretty true to form from, how it went down in a raw state to what they packaged up to show everybody?
Yeah, they were so cool, man. I'm telling you, man. Citizen Pictures, keep an eye on them guys. Them guys are going to be busting out some big stuff in the future, man. I truly believe it. I got nothing against Original Media, Pitmasters. Those guys are great. They gave me the opportunity to be on TV and to have the fans and the friends that I've developed since then. I'm thankful. I'm thankful for John Marcus. He's a cool cat, man. I have a lot of respect for the man. But this is just another production company that's going toe-to-toe. And I'm telling you, man, they were so cool, man. They just let everything, they let us do a lot of things. They kept control of the way the show was going. They let us do a lot of things, man. Hell, we knocked out 2 bottles of Maker's Mark, man, shooting that show, man. It was just fun, man. It was fun.
I'm down with that.
Fun.
Where's my invite? I love Maker's Mark.
Yeah, man, it was fun. I mean, everybody was a pro, and they just treated us, great.
You did something on the show that I want to ask you about. You put the brisket on.
Yeah.
You pre-cook it. You pre-cook the brisket. You take it back off, and then you inject it. Myron Mixon looked like he was going to shit his pants, like he's never seen anything like that before. Is that normal practice for you?
Yeah, it is. It is. That's something that I do. Okay, and that's the thing about being homegrown and self-taught and learning cooking. My own way. I never really understood why people will take a cold piece of meat and inject a solution in it when knowing that the muscle fibers and everything is cold, it's tight, you're forcing liquid in there, and a lot of it squirts out, a lot of it doesn't get in, to the cavities.
Yep.
Some does, but not a lot. So I've been playing around for years cooking. What I do is I take one charcoal chimney, say on my big green egg, and I'll put a chimney of charcoal lit for 1 hour before my searing, And so I put it in, and I put in like a couple small chunks of pecan or whatever wood I'm going to use, mesquite or whatever. And then the key on this thing is making sure the brisket is at cold refrigerator temperature, like 35, 36 degrees. I've got a commercial true refrigerator on my trailer. So everything in there is like 35 degrees, 36 degrees. So after I season my brisket, it sits there in my fridge. Okay, I have my egg going. It's been going for about an hour.
Yep.
With one chimney of charcoal. And then what I do is I transfer that brisket onto that. It's just enough heat, Rippy, to where it adds that great grill flavor to the brisket, but it's not pounding the brisket. It's not stressing it. It's just putting a love kiss of meat, a flame on that meat. And I do it for about an hour. I go 15 minutes meat side down, and then I'll flip the brisket, and then I'll actually put a probe in it. And then once it hits like 95 degrees to 100 degrees internal temperature, I'll take it off, and I go right into my area, and then I inject my brisket. And you will not believe how much it'll accept all of that injection. It'll inject, it'll swell up, it'll just take it all. And then I transfer that to my gravity-fed cooker. And it's just, at the end of the process, man, it's just super juicy, man. And it's just awesome. I like it. Plus, at the end, the big key on it is at the end, with my brisket, you get a hint of grill flavor, which I love with my beef. It's just a slight hint. It doesn't go away. It's there all the way to the end of the whole cook.
Well, I think everybody's going to be trying this on for sure, because I don't know, how many people saw it and how many people actually caught it. I know when I saw it, I was like, oh my God. I'm either going to call him on the phone immediately, or the next time I have him on the show, I'm going to make a note to ask him about it. So I appreciate
but
you.
The key is you got to have it in the refrigerator and put it from the fridge straight to your can or your egg or your whatever you're going to cook it. And it can't be a real hot, raging fire. It's got to be a small, like a chimney of charcoal that's only been going on for about an hour or so. And it's just enough heat. And the big thing is the distance. If you do it in a trash can, you really got no problem. You got an egg. It all depends what size egg you got. But I can put it on an XL egg and spread the charcoal out, and it works out just great. But the key is going from the fridge, because it's cold and it gives you more time and also develops a great smoke ring, believe it or not, in that amount of time. It's the time frame from going from the fridge to the meat and then warming that up. If you let your brisket just sit out there on the countertop and it's like at a contest and it's 80 degrees outside and it's 60, 70 degrees in your trailer, well, you're not going to have much of a window. It's going to be 25 degrees. You're going to be there, and you're not going to get that effect. It's got to be from a refrigerated temperature standpoint to bring up to your finished 95 to 100 degree internal temperature.
Mo Cason is the pit master for Ponderosa Barbecue, ponderosabbq.com. I imagine you can find your sauces there as well for the people who want to buy them online, Mo?
Yeah, just Mo Case, ponderosabarbq.com, and you can find my sauces there, man.
All right. Mo, always appreciate the time, buddy. Thanks for coming on tonight.
No problem, man. See you later.
You got it. There he is. Big Mo. Check him out. Check my wireless microphone falling off my pants. Watch out for that. Coming soon to a theater you knew, a microphone falling off my pants. Pants on the ground, pants on the ground. Looking like a fool. The pants on the ground. Coming up next segment, maybe Michael Simon?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
877-448-0433, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Gang, literally running out of time as we speak. Coming up in a few short days, ladies, especially you, moms, Father's Day is coming up. Don't miss out on getting Dad, hubby, a succulent gift. When I'm talking about succulent gifts, I, of course, am talking about watches. And there's not a better place on the face of the earth to get a high-quality watch at a great price than Stephen DeFranco from Stephen DeFranco Jewelers. So here's what you do. First of all, you go to StephenDeFranco.com. That's DIFRANCO, StephenDeFranco.com. You go to timepieces, you go to Gentleman, and then you peruse all of the different manufacturers that he has. Typically on this kind of a holiday, the Bulova watches are probably going to be right around 50%. You might get a deal on a Philip & Company watch, maybe even the Seikos and the Citizens. You have to call in for your best price. So I always tell you, right, each and every week, go ahead, and then once you find what you like online, call them directly, 440-943-2700. That's 440-943-2700. Ask for Steve. If Tim or Susie answers the phone, say, I need to talk to Steve, I'm a Centralite. He'll drop whatever he's doing. Steve could be in the middle of a $750,000 diamond watch or diamond ring sale. He will leave that place and help you immediately because you're a Centralite. I've made sure this will happen. Say, hey, Steve, I'm on the website. I'm a Centralite. I want the barbecue brother or sister hookup. And I want this watch or that watch or this piece of jewelry or that piece of jewelry or whatever. And quickly learn that, he's going to save you pretty much a boatload of money. And on top of all of that, so look, especially with the watches, you go to Stephen DeFranco's, you get the watch. Are you going to save, 30, 40, 50%, depending on what kind of a deal he's got going on that day? But you're going to get an extra year of warranty, which nobody else offers. You're going to get free batteries for life, which nobody else offers. If you want to engrave it, if you're a lady buying it for your husband or a kid buying it for your dad, you can engrave the back of it free of charge. You can also have it gift wrapped, take that stress off of you, so it'll become ready, already gift when it ships to you. Free of charge on the gift wrapping. Oh, by the way, free of charge on the shipping as well. A lot of value added right there, and watches that he will enjoy forever, maybe pass down when his time has come. 440-943-2700. That's 440-943-2700. Or StephenDeFranco.com. Potentially the Iron Chef when we come back. Lots more to come on the show. Hang out.
Big name interviews, advice on cooking brisket and ribs, and the only host willing to share his honest opinion on all things important in the world of barbecue. It's the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, we are back. 877-448-0433. Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Hey. The pause was because I was on the tweeter. Hollering at my boy, as I say. Holler at your boy. Randy Hill with a score update. Oh, my Lord, this is getting out of hand. Damn near 20 points. San Antonio's up. Way to bring it. 92% of teams in the NBA that win Game 3 of the NBA Finals go on to win the championship. I'm no mathematician, but that's like a 50-50 shot at this point. Give me 1 second. Does anybody hear this? Can anybody hear me when I'm talking like this? The microphone looks all jacked up. Could just be one of those things that looks like it's jacked up, but it's not really jacked up. All right, never mind. I know there's more background noise, but it's because I don't have the gate on that. See, when I turn, you can hear it. Listen. Nothing right now, but then I'll turn on the wireless. Hear that noise? Kill that noise! Kill that noise!
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right, so we're waiting for the Iron Chef to call in. As a matter of fact, looky here. Let's head on over. And looks like this is line number 2. Little nervous. First timer to the show. You know him as Iron Chef, multi-time author, owner of Lolita, the B Spot, right here in downtown Cleveland. The Iron Chef, Michael Simon himself, joining us here on the show. Michael, appreciate the time. How are you, buddy? Hello? Hello? What? I'm sorry. No, Michael Simon. All right, that must have been a mistake. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him back. Did you say what line was that? All right, let me try. Owner of Lola and Lolita, the B Spot, amongst many other restaurant ventures, and that's just the restaurant ventures here in Cleveland. Iron Chef Mike Simon joining us here on the show. Michael, how Hello. 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 All right. Sorry about that.
Get that freak stuff out of here.
You know, I think we can all agree that chances are, as luck would have it, the pitmaster of Pellet Envy, Rod Gray, is calling in on the phone. I have to ask him this question. Is there what percentage of chance is Michael Simon calling into the show, Rod?
Nothing.
How many? What's the chance?
Nothing.
No chance at all. Rod said it.
Get that freak stuff out of here.
Let me go through here. No way. Wait a second. Well, I must say, I have impressed myself, probably because of my very unique and succulent booking skills, that some of you actually thought that I might have had Michael Simon on the line when I was doing the intro. Yay me! Of course, nobody hoping more than that be the case, but I don't think he's even in Cleveland during the week. He shoots The Chew, host of The Chew. I forgot that on the intro as well. And that shoots like multiple episodes every day or something like that. I mean, he is like a co-host. He doesn't, what am I trying to say? He doesn't like host it by himself, like me. He's got multiple co-hosts. I think Mario Batali's on that, and then 2 people I've never seen before in my life. I don't know if they're chefs or not, or if they're all chefs. Oh, no, isn't that the one dude that was on the dress show? Not the dress show, but the clothes show. Oh, tweet from Mike Simon. Working still. Damn.
Get that freak stuff out of here.
All right. By the way, that's not a joke. If you follow me on Twitter, he just tweeted at me. Open invite. Anytime. There you go. What is this guy doing at 10:45 at night? Michael, come on. What? Wait. Oh, no, I'm not getting... Yeah, right. I'm not violating rule number 2. Mike, I would show you my screen, but for some reason my... oh, wait, I can. Let me get to the... I'll use my phone. I used to have the ability to do the screen share. Or I could pick a portion of my screen and I could like show it up to you there on the things. Oh, no, not direct message. Mentions. Pulling it up. Let me make sure everybody can see this. I'm going to switch to the wireless mic here for that. Okay. All right. Look right. Oh, is this not going to work? Ugh. Oh. That's it. Oh. Kind of can see it. Right? Ah, I just had it. There it is. Chef Simon at Barbecue Central Show, still working. Then my boy Diamond Barbecue following up with a make it happen. Yeah! At my back. No, he's not on. He just tweeted at me. He said he's still working. He did. I just showed everybody that's listening and watching. Huh? Well, no, I just told everybody he just tweeted at me. No, he said he was still working. I had put it out on the Twitter automatically to, so. I mean, how many people are going, who's working at 10:45? He's not working. Clearly, he's listening to the show, of course. Chef, rule number 2, don't get hooked. We know you're listening to the show. It's all right. Call in. We'd love to talk to you. John Dawson weighing in. You clearly need a new publicist and a new producer. You son of a bitch. Hey, he's still working, John. Clearly, he needs a better work schedule. Clearly. That's all right. When you're the star of... Is he? I don't watch the Food Network nearly as much. Okay, I don't watch the Food Network at all anymore. I used to. I used to love... what's his name? Or what's her name? The barefoot... What's her name? Barefoot Contestant. My favorite cook, the Barefoot Contestant. She was great. I loved her. Ina Garten, that fat, sexy bitch. I love her. Because I would eat her food. Everything she made, I would eat. Same thing goes with the other kook. Paula Deen. Everything she makes, man, I would eat. We would... No offense to people that have type 2 diabetes, but we would get type 2 diabetes together, me and you, Paula Deen. We would eat lard and butter and cream and suck the skin off of fried chicken. Who cares about it anymore? She needs to get back to comfort food and just say, hey y'all, I don't do this anymore, but I know y'all like to eat it, so I'm just going to make it. You shouldn't eat it, but you should eat it. That's my Paula Deen. It's pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. Hey y'all. If you want to jump in, 877-448-0433, Greg at the BBQ Central Show. Trey, blue boy. I cannot even attempt that last name. Borgio. Can you phonetically spell that, Trey? I'm gonna new nickname for Trey. 3 Point. What's up, 3 Point? I don't watch the cooking channel. I used to watch the food channel a lot. I never, ever got the popularity of Giada De Laurentiis or the girl that made stuff that was like half homemade and half not. I forget what her name was. I was never a fan of Rachel Ray, but man, did I love me the Ina Garten, and I loved the old school Mario Batali show where he was cooking for 2 or 3 friends in this weird, awkward setting, what have you. Okay, really getting a phone call in. 913 area code. Let's go to the phone. Name and where you're calling from. Hello.
Tim Grant, Kansas City. True Bud Barbecue.
Tim. I don't have any prizes to give you, Tim.
You don't?
No. I thought you were going to say...
Can you be on the show twice in one night?
I thought you were going to say you were Michael Simon and you were saving my segment. What can I do, buddy?
Hey, we forgot to talk about awards and what it means to teams and, doing a little bit of shouting and hooping and hollering. I thought maybe I could call back in and just use 5 minutes to talk about that.
You got 4 minutes. Go ahead.
So, I wanted to bring up the fact that, what awards means to teams and, some of the teams that don't win every week in and week out. So, I got a really good friend that works for me. He's on a barbecue team and, he cooks this Lenexa barbecue, and him and his team they've been doing it for like 10 years, and he placed 6th place in pork one year, actually last year, and the guys couldn't even talk to each other. They had a tear in their eyes, and he was kind of explaining this to me, and I think I heard a barbecue great one time say, that this hooping and hollering and people holding up their hands and the number one sign, and it's kind of ridiculous. And I just kind of think that it disappointed me. Maybe it's because I'm so new to this barbecue atmosphere and winning, but I think people forget about what it feels like. You don't even have to win, to get a call, to make that walk. It's not, it could mean a lot to people. And I just challenge people to don't forget about that, take, what it can mean to a person to, even get a call, maybe not even win an event. There's lots of teams out there that, strive to win a contest that'll never win a contest. And, just a conversation piece for maybe later down the road, but just challenge people. Don't forget about what it takes, or don't forget about what it means to actually win or get your name called.
I made the point when we were talking to Scotty Johnson after you about, a team getting incorrectly called up and then being asked to return a prize and the money. And I said, look, I think if you talk to these guys, and I've talked to enough pitmasters during the course of this show, where if you were given the choice to say, hey, I'll give you $1,000 for this competition, but you're going to have to go away quietly and nobody's ever going to know you got it, or you're going to get a call and walk the stage, but you're not going to get any money, 90% of those teams, 95% of those teams would much rather take the call than the money when given the choice.
I agree with that. I mean, what a simple, what a simple ribbon or what a simple walk or, being recognized means to some of these guys is something that I think people forget about. If you're in it all the time, if you're, and look what Tiger Woods did to golf. I mean, he brought, people hoop and holler. They make, it's not just this quiet old man sport anymore. And I think that's what some people think about barbecue. But it's not. It's about, barbecue has grown to such a huge event. And, there's different types of individuals. There's new blood out there. There's new different cooks. It's just, it's not just about, I have different goals in barbecue than the next guy. For me to win, I'm going after the points, but to the next guy, it might not, he's not going after the points.
Right.
He can't. There's lots of different reasons why he's cooking, but it doesn't mean that, I shouldn't, take away from him, his right to have a good time and have, time to celebrate, because, and that's one thing I strive to do. If you win something, or if you're, you win a first place or second place, and you're in this and you're not doing it week in and week out, go up to that person, congratulate them, because it probably means more to them than you'll ever realize. And just, for all the cooks, for all the good cooks out there, for all the cooks that are winning week in, week out, don't forget to do that, because that means so much to those other guys. And you never know, 2 years from now, maybe they're doing it week in and week out, and maybe you were their inspiration. So, I challenge people to, keep that dream alive for people.
Tim Grant is the pitmaster of True Bud Barbecue, and I, of course, appreciate you scooting me through these last 4 minutes, Tim. I appreciate the call back in.
Hey, anything I can do to help, Greg. Thanks a lot, man.
Appreciate it. There he is. Again, Tim Grant picking me up. None of you other rat bastards would pick me up because I'm waiting for the Iron Chef to call. Hello? 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 Is that you? Hello? No, it's not you. All right. Right back to wrap it up. But first, I'll talk to you about the longest-running sponsor of the show, the Barbecue Guru. By the way, if you weren't here at the top of the second hour, Bob Trudnak from the Barbecue Guru in next week. What? Oh, there's a joke. We're going to be talking about some new products that the Barbecue Guru has coming out. We're going to be talking about the existing products, any new upgrades that are going to be made, some satin finishes might be putting on by some stuff. But look, if you're a busy working professional, if you are, a homemaker, a domestic engineer, and you love to barbecue, but you got, roughly a billion other things to do besides 10 pit temperatures. Look, I can relate. I got to work. I've been the domestic engineer as well, not by choice. And, I've wanted to barbecue too, and I haven't wanted to just sit there and feed a fire or making sure that the temperatures are where they should be. So that's why you call the Barbecue Guru. You call them toll-free 800-288-GURU, 800-288-GURU. Or you can visit them online, thebbqguru.com. Don't get overwhelmed. When you're looking at all the choices, when you're looking at all the features and the benefits of each individual Barbecue Guru model, at any point you're like, man, I'm thinking about pushing the eject button on this. It looks way too complicated. Call in 800-288-GURU and talk to one of the many well-trained experts that are there. They'll get you outfitted with exactly what you need to get you up and running right out of the box. To make it super easy, if you're also in the market for a barbecue pit, you can buy the Onyx oven, which the Barbecue Guru makes. It's going to work seamlessly with any of the 4 models of Barbecue Guru pit temperature control devices that they make. And it can accommodate half and full pans for like food service if you're getting the catering thing. It's super insulated. With the Barbecue Guru in hand and with some lump charcoal, the ash content is almost zero. It will hold temperature forever. It's fabulous. 800-288-GURU. That's 800-288-GURU or thebbqguru.com. We're back to wrap up right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Radio Network studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Radio Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we are back. Just to wrap up, 877-448-0433, Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Thanks to Tim Grant for calling back in this past segment. For the last 4 minutes. Almost got that Iron Chef guy to call in, Michael Simon. Maybe sooner than later. We'll just leave an open invitation, but one day he'll call in. I mean, he's a Cleveland guy. I'm a Cleveland guy, right? No way he couldn't call in. It would be walking the thin line of blasphemy in the Barbecue Central show. All right, all the way back in the first hour, we talked with the pitmaster of True Bud Barbecue, Tim Grant, whom we just talked to like 2 minutes ago. TrueBudBBQ.com, his website. Then we talked to Scotty Johnson, pitmaster of CancerSuckChicago.com. CancerSuckChicago.com, the website. Make donations as you see fit. I thank you. Scotty would thank you, of course. 10:14, we talked with Mo Cason, Big Mo, PonderosaBBQ.com. Then again with Tim Grant, TrueBudBBQ.com. And there you go. Almost had a Michael Simon sighting, fell off the radar. It's going to happen. But when you're this big, sometimes, newsflash, sometimes I got to bump you, right? Let's go with it. See what happens. If you got raw cast iron, season it each and every song. Season it each and every use. Hit it with the grill brush and start to cool down. A little Crisco, a little Spam, or Pam. Whoa. Let it cook back in, give you generations of rust-free service. Also, September 11th, 2001. I will never forget. Until next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.